Hey, I'm your neighbor from down at the end of the cul-de-sac. We're throwing a little party here, and barbecuing, playing volleyball. Just wanted to see if you wanted to come. I mean, that sounds awesome, but there's like this whole curse thing. Yeah, it's like I can't really leave. A curse? Yeah, it's like if I leave the house, then my brother dies. It's like this whole thing. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, we're gonna play horseshoes. Kick back, drink a few beers. Oh. Do you like beer? Hey Stan, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. Yeah. I think I'm about done with this whole curse thing. So.
Hey Ian.
Hey Chris. This is happening. This is happening.
Tonight we watched The Lodgers.
Sure did.
What is happening? What is going on? What's happening? Tonight we watched a little movie called The Lodgers. It is a Gothic horror movie from Ireland. Not from there, but about that. Is it from there? Well, then there you go, right there. It's coming in good.
Got the facts here.
All
the
facts
bad
here.
movie night. We got all the facts. Bringing you the facts.
What is The Lodgers about?
The Lodgers is the story of cursed siblings, twin siblings. Supposedly something terrible happened in their family's past, and this curse has passed down in the generations. They're trapped in this house, have to follow a few rules to keep the lodgers at bay. But as long as they do, all is hunky-dory. But some shit goes down, Chris. Some shit goes down, and things change, and the rules don't get followed, and they wind up in a bit of trouble, especially between brother and sister.
Lots of brother and sister action in this movie, Ian.
Sure is.
All right, so what do you think of Budget Crimson Peak?
I'm not ready for that question.
Okay.
What
Really?
did you think of Budget Crimson Peak?
It was all right. It's a nice looking movie.
Yep.
The acting is pretty good, at least for the main character.
Yeah.
There's some other side characters that are basically just like wooden and
But that's fine.
pointless. And the setting is really cool. There's not enough movies. Yeah, you have Crimson Peak, you have The Others, you have Woman in Black. That's about it, right? I'm sure there's others I'm not picking up on or remembering.
Let us know in the comments, viewers.
So I really like the look of the movie and I like the setting.
The acting's good, like you said. Sounds good.
It's okay. The music fits. It's just, it's boring.
I wouldn't say that it was boring, but there was a little too much uncertainty about certain things.
Well, yeah, okay. Yes.
We came to this place and shut ourselves away. So nobody would know what we are.
Every sound the house makes, I hear them. They won't wait much longer. Stop. It hurts my eyes.
Do you believe that two people can do something so unnatural that it leaves a stain on them?
So Ian, what were your expectations for The Lodgers?
I didn't have very specific expectations, other than that this was a period piece, kind of haunted horror kind of a thing. To that end, it mostly delivered on those very low expectation there, low bar there. But beyond that, I don't know. I was hoping it'd be creepy. I was hoping it would be much like Crimson Peak or The Shape of Water, where there's symbolism and meaning and all of that. Maybe there was. I didn't feel as strongly put together as those movies did, however.
I don't think it was written very well. Like, I like the idea. A family curse in its old house. It's not like anything new, it's stuff you've seen before, but because of the setting and everything, it could be a really cool movie.
Felt a little fresh.
Yeah, it felt more fresh that way.
Being very old. When you say this was a badly written movie, I hesitate to accept that, but I don't entirely disagree, only because there's no one aspect to the writing that bothered me. Like, the dialogue was good.
Right.
The story beats followed a natural flow. Everything felt like it fit, and yet it just all didn't come together necessarily.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's kind of like a metaphor, if you will, for the filmmaking process. There's so many things that have to come together to make a great movie, and even if all of them are at least kind of working, they don't necessarily all come together and gel and create chemistry. And to that end, I just don't feel like the whole is more than the sum of the parts.
Yeah, I don't know what we were supposed to take away from this movie when it ended.
Yeah.
And that the stain goes on to their children. And to their children's children.
Say it and make us sick again.
There's too many hints at a deeper story that never evolves to me.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess that's we're slowly coming around to that point, is that, like, if it was just some weird, mysterious, supernatural thing that doesn't need an explanation, sometimes movies are like that and it's fine.
Right.
But this certainly kept hinting at more story where there didn't seem to actually be any coming to back that up. But then I also don't feel like I got any great resolution to the story at the end. Certainly things happen.
Things happen.
I'm not sure
What?
why.
What? Who? What? Where? Why? It happens the way it happens.
Yeah.
Why it resolves in the way it resolves. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, let's just throw this out here right now. We're gonna spoil everything. Because there's no other way to talk about
This
this
is
movie.
happening.
Because without spoiling it, there's really nothing to talk about with this movie.
Spoilers.
I mean,
This is
like
happening.
this is fucking happening. Strap in. Put your big boy pants on. We're going for a
'Cause
fucking
this is
ride.
happening.
This is happening.
This house speaks to us. It belongs to us and we to it. They come.
The parents were suicides.
Drowned, all of them. This is where Edward found them. Something was broken in him. He's never left the house since.
There are a lot of unexplained things in this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
the basic premise is unexplained, but then there's like also things that are. They introduced this gang of locals.
Which are very sexually aggressive.
Very sexually
least their leader
aggressive.
is.
Yes, and
Got a bit of a Harvey Weinstein's grandfather thing going on.
they play a role throughout the movie, and then are ultimately just forgotten about.
Yeah. Nothing gets resolved with those characters. They're not punished for their sins. They don't see the error of their ways. In no way do they really ultimately have a story arc.
I don't think anything has a story arc in this movie. It would have been a more interesting story to me because you felt bad for her character. Like you felt like she was innocent in this, and you felt like you wanted her to escape.
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting if she was dark and like used that soldier character to escape or something along
Yeah.
those lines. Something a little twisted would have set it apart. I think.
Like
I don't
maybe
know.
if she was a little bit more evil and
to
doing
get
something
away.
on
Yeah,
purpose.
I don't know.
I could see that.
Something different. Like
could
this
see
is just
that.
so by the numbers. Like you could have called everything.
Yeah.
Like because you take out all the nuance from the story, which there's very little, and it's just okay, curse and she breaks it, and somebody dies.
Yeah.
Just two little children, too young to know what they were.
Tomorrow I leave, with or without you. I won't stay and become what they did.
I know what you're like, you and your family. Washing the filth out of your sheets, your parents and the ones before them. And you think I don't know what goes on in that place?
There's no name for what we are.
So Ian, would you recommend The Lodgers?
Yeah. Watch Crimson Peak instead if you haven't seen that. It's a better move. If you saw the trailer like, oh, I really like the tone of that. It looks interesting. I want to check it out. Don't. Just watch Crimson Peak. It's much better.
Yeah, it's a shame. I wanted to like it. Like I really wanted to like it.
Yeah.
But as the movie went on and on, I just became more and more disinterested just because it just felt like nothing was adding up. And it was never going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when it ultimately went somewhere, it provided no information or even like an inkling of reason to why things happen to keep me interested.
Now I'm surprised this doesn't rate higher for you, Chris.
Why?
Being such a big fan of man-ass as you are. There's quite a bit of man-ass in this movie.
There is a lot of man-ass in this movie. I wrote it down.
We got ghost man-ass?
This is, if you were to classify this movie, it would be Gothic horror ass. Like, that's what this movie is,
But
right?
specifically man-ass, even.
So much man-ass.